2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
All but from before as the Clippers made their way to the locker room, hoping to put on a show for their fans here tonight. You're looking live and down at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, California. The setting for our broadcast tonight. It's that time of the year. Happy holidays, everyone, from 2K Sports as we get set. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. We look at the Clippers. A terrific position for them as they hold up that illustrious top spot, but it's a long season, as we all know. And, of course, Dallas, 2 games back.
And when you look at the Clippers, they had pressure on them coming into the season. A lot of people were picking them to have a special year. And they haven't shied away from that pressure. They've embraced it.
I think every great team welcomes the challenge of trying to be elite, and they want to do it on a nightly basis.
Now, we'll look at Dallas's starting lineup. They've got Richardson. He's out there with Luka Doncic. Tim Hardaway Jr. out there with Dwight Powell. And it's Finney Smith in at the power forward position. And for the Clippers, we've got Patrick Beverley. Batuma's out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Paul George. And it's Ibaka in at the 5, roaming the paint. And Finney Smith gets it to go. Greg, at the beginning of every season, we love to see players that have worked on something during the offseason that they now have added to their game in the new season.
No doubt about it, Kevin. You know, the work doesn't end when the season ends. If you're trying to improve your skill set, or if you're trying to just put on muscle, that kind of stuff needs to be done during the break. You need to have an assessment in the off right after the season. Hey, where can I get better? And then you spend the off season on that challenge.
Season never really ends.
That's a pretty impressive finish for Montrezl Harrell.
Now it's ended down to David Aldridge, who was able to talk with Rick Carlisle.
Thanks, Kevin. He thinks the big issue for them is to make things difficult inside. He understands that their opponent has a physical presence, but he wants his guys to match that physicality or surpass it. Obviously a tough order to fill, but they have to do it.
Thanks, David. George. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. That one on Richardson.
The versatility of Paul George as he's matured and put some more weight on his frame through the years. He's an exceptional two-way player with outstanding length and a tremendous scoring ability. And at this point, you might as well go ahead and chalk up the points when he's at the free throw line. Pretty much automatic.
And how about the vision there from Doncic? Can make the easy pass and also the difficult.
Here's Leonard. A putback. Great positioning on the putback.
Great at using his body and finding his feet in positions on the boards where he can get up, get to it, get an extra possession.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Basket counts.
And he's capable of scoring from anywhere, really. Doncic has a strong grasp here of the mid-range.
And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. Tim Hardaway picks one up. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. The free throw drops for Leonard. Leonard hits them both.
Now, quiet is Kawhi Leonard, but don't let that mistake itself for a lack of competitiveness. He has that desire and drive to continue to get better. And elite passes like that are so hard to defend. He never had to break his stride. So full speed, 2 points.
So for Dallas, their last game, a loss to Los Angeles.
Yeah, tough game on the road. The guys you're defending, obviously comfortable shooting in their own building. You've got to find a way to break their rhythm.
Yeah, they couldn't do it in that one. Always a step slow in closing out the shooters and maybe even recognition of who was on the floor. Just not enough energy, and that's a tough way to win on the road.
Dallas shooting their first free throws of this one.
And at the line last season, about 78% as a team. Pretty solid numbers.
He doesn't get the second one. Clippers trail by 5. And now the fast break. George with the ball.
Well, if you're open, Patrick Beverley is going to do his best to get you the ball.
And so it's Doncic with it. He brings it up for the Dallas Mavericks.
And Bones, he stands just 6'1", but Patrick Beverley rebounds like a forward.
The fact that he's going to bring it mentally, GA, I mean, that's the huge advantage. I think if you're in the opposing locker room and you know you're going to get on the floor, Patrick Beverley is going to be right in your jock for every minute that you're going to be competing against him. Count on Kawhi Leonard to work as much as he needs to get to the spots on the floor where he can be successful. He's a good shooter from mid-range.
It's good. Powell's got his second basket.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here.
And a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, Powell had an excellent college career, yet he fell to the second round of the draft. Didn't even hear his name called as he was selected during a commercial break.
Lou Williams is checked in for Patrick Beverley. Then for the Mavericks, Cauley Stein, he's checked in for Dwight Powell. Jalen Brunson comes in for Richardson. And it's Burke in for Dorian Finney-Smith. Doncic passes to Cleveland, and it's blocked. Left side, George. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. George has got 11. And GA, even when he did arrive to the NBA, it took Powell a while to latch on.
You know, traded a couple times in his first year. He was assigned and recalled 10 times in about a month with Boston's D-League affiliate. Finally found a home in Dallas. Everything turned around from that point forward. Whoops. Got caught in between moves there on his way to the rack.
Pass to Leonard. There's the triple. Kleba with the rebound.
Well, one player sometimes can drag down your offense, and he seems to be an anchor here in this quarter.
Brunson the pass to Cauley Stein. Count that one.
Making contact on the way up. Cauley Stein going through it that time.
Clippers trail by 3. Right side, Batum. Here's Leonard. That one goes in. 6 points for him.
He just takes advantage of the D in a way that very few players playing today can do.
Doncic right side. 35 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Here's Cauley Stein, and it's the Clippers with the rebound. And this matchup with the Mavericks, it's the first meeting of the season.
And they rolled over this team last season, beating them every time they faced off.
Yeah, it was a completely one-sided season series, and that was no surprise to anyone. This first game between them should give us an idea if they're on a little more even ground this season.
That's what he gives you, a big-time presence on the glass.
And you know what, Greg? Once he gets his hands on it, he's not even thinking about kicking it out.
Well, his competitiveness right now is why the teammates love him.
The Clippers have been solid at the line so far, 4 for 4.
And last season, as a team, they knocked down 79% of their free throws, so those are numbers you'll be happy with.
The free throw good from Kawhi Leonard. 9 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Burke. Softly drops in the floater.
Always fun to look at. Not tremendously efficient, but the floater, boy, those sure are pretty.
Williams for 3, and the last shot before the buzzer is off. Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for Los Angeles. He comes up. Earlier tonight, we spoke with Paul George about how they've integrated all the talent on this team.
Everybody has a chip on their shoulder. Everybody wants to win.
Greg, that last point is key. This team plays lockdown defense.
And that's a big part of their identity. Most teams talk about being well-balanced. This team lives it.
And we hope you're enjoying the game. Both teams tonight keeping things pretty even so far on the scoreboard. And taking a look at Los Angeles' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing?
In that first period, they showed a willingness to make the extra pass.
So much unselfish play out there. The coaching staff has to be thrilled with that.
Ibaka is out there with Batum. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Williams. And it's George in at the 2. They're the group out there for the Clippers starting the second quarter.
And Tim Hardaway Jr., you can see he's got good foundational form for a three-point shot. Consistency would help.
And Leonard gets it to go.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
So it's the Mavericks now. Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. Here's Hardaway. That shot off the mark. The Clippers go the other way with it. And after this one, they're home against Minnesota. They'll find themselves in the middle of this string of 3 straight at home.
And so little can be done to stop that. Leonard with the Jets to screen down the lane, then tops it off with the Thunder finish.
Marjanovic against Ibaka. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And the Clippers get called for the foul. The Mavericks shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. And some changes here for the Mavericks. Dwight Powell's checked in for Johnson. Dorian Finney-Smith comes in for Jalen Brunson. And it's Richardson in for Burke. Williams dishes to Ibaka. Leonard kicks to George. And the shot goes in.
Well, you see the improvement in terms of high-level playmaking, a great understanding of all the offensive scheme that Kawhi Leonard possesses.
Richardson the pass to Marjanovic. Dallas moving it around. Here's Hardaway. Count it. His second make in 4 attempts. Rager, the all-time assist leader for the Big West Conference. In that frame, talk about some of the traits that make for a good floor general, a good point guard, a good facilitator.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have to be a leader because that's what the position calls for. Unselfishness, instincts, that stuff matters. But ultimately, your teammates got to feel like you play for them. And that's when you have a chance as a team to be special.
I'm assuming you've always been like that. Am I correct?
No. That is not
really?
true.
Wow.
I evolved into a leader. In all seriousness, I think some guys are natural. Others, like myself, had to evolve into it.
Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for Marjanovic. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
Makes it pretty tough on the defense. Who are you going to pick to send to the free throw line? He's hitting the free throws right now. Form looks good.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. You have to like what we're seeing so far from Kawhi Leonard.
And they simply have no answer right now for what he's doing to them. He is making them pay.
Richardson the pass to Powell. Here's Finney-Smith. Back to Powell. Second shot opportunity. That's tipped. Here's George, and George with the stuff.
Paul George taking initiative tonight and going right at the defense.
Passes it to Kleber. Batum with the steal. And pushing it up. Here's the Clippers. That's good for George on the assist from Leonard. And it's a 9-point Los Angeles lead.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Outside Hardaway. Will it go? Offensive rebound. Powell. Off target at the rim. Los Angeles leading by 9. Here's Batum. George trying to break free. Williams dishes to Batum. And Ibaka kicks to Leonard. 6 to shoot. A second chance effort. Kleber with the rebound.
And that was almost a block. Still did enough to alter the shot.
Yeah, altering the shot just as long as there's a miss, that kind of energy not wasted. A hard work on the offensive glass. You can see the coaching staff rise up and clap for that effort.
Right side, Batum. That falls. Nice speed that time from George. George has got 3 assists now in this one. Mavericks trail by 9. A guy who just continues to earn more minutes. You know, Finney-Smith is tough, and Greg, he is effective.
Yeah, he seems to become a better rebounder every year. More efficient. He'll take charges, commits hard fouls, and I don't think we've seen his ceiling. Finney Smith is a guy you can win with. Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
1:04 left to play in the first half. Poked loose. And now Williams running the floor all by himself.
I like to see Lou Williams hustle like this, looking determined to get past everybody and be ahead of the pack.
There's 53 seconds left to play here in the half. And there's the call on Lou Williams. That is his first foul of the game. And the Mavericks with some changes. Cauley Stein comes in for Dwight Powell. And Luka Doncic subbed in for Hardaway. George against Doncic. Finney Smith kicks to Cauley Stein. Doncic against George. Just 5 on the clock. For 3, Serge Ibaka pulls it in. Ibaka's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. And good that time. Williams has got the lead up to 12 now for the Clippers.
Everyone on D looks a step slow in transition as they keep getting beat down the floor.
Trains the three-pointer.
Well, the evolution of Josh Richardson is going to be very exciting for this organization. When he's sinking the catch-and-shoot jump shots, look out.
A wide-open look here for Ibaka. And it's good off the back rim and in.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
Yeah, he's the guy that you want to go to right now trying to put this one away.
Yeah, he just punched the ticket on that one. That'll get the job done.
Powerful two-hand jam. And the first half is now in the books.
Kevin, thanks so much. Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much is that helping your game?
It's helping me out a lot. Just coming in the game relaxed, just with more intensity. I mean, my teammates are getting me involved on the offensive end. I'm playing great on defense. We just got to keep it up second half and not let it up.
Hey, Kawhi, thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings to each and every Paul George taking care of business in this one. He ended up with 19 points. And Kenny, like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George doesn't show a whole lot of. And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
And we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. We're halfway through the game. You look at Paul George in this game, guys. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a great performance from him. Really staying focused on quality shots.
Yeah, this is showing that they're not going to play at anybody else's pace but their own.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the court for the Mavericks, they've got Dwight Powell. Richardson is out there with Doncic. Then there's Hardaway, and it's Finney Smith in at the 4 spot. That's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession.
I know people can't see you, but you're doing what I'm doing, scratching your head to that turnover.
Hardaway against Leonard. You know, Greg, we know there's some power finishers in the NBA like Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he complains a lot that he needs to sell contact rather than muscle through it. How do you evaluate those kind of power finishers in the game?
Well, I mean, there's still power will always play a role, especially when you can add in quickness and athleticism. And I think you start right there with Giannis. I mean, he's kind of epitomizes that. LeBron obviously is still in that category. And a guy like Kawhi Leonard, he can send you into the stanchion when he gets going downhill as well.
Leonard hits them both. Mavericks trail by 11. And there's the pass to Finney Smith. They get the rebound. And the rejection by Leonard.
Let this be a reminder, when you're going up for a shot, it's always important to know where Kawhi Leonard may be lurking.
Ibaka looking for an opening. Williams finds Ibaka. Shot clock at 6. And it's off from three-point range. For Dallas, they've gone 0-3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second half. And the dunk by Powell.
I like seeing Josh Richardson distribute the ball, especially when his teammates are wide open. That makes for an easy pass.
And Greg, Josh Richardson's a terrific ball handler out on the wing who can create for others.
Richardson gets a lot of assists per game at that wing position, not just looking to finish plays, but also to create for others. Very well-rounded threat on the offensive end, and that gives this team another dimension in terms of playmaking.
Team starts the second half missing 4 of 5 shots. When does the coach possibly call a timeout and reiterate what he talked about at halftime?
Pushing the action, getting others involved. He does it time and time again.
Nice to play with a point guard that takes pride in playmaking. It makes you move around just a little bit faster to get open spots.
And some changes here for the Mavericks. James Johnson's checked in for Dorian Finney-Smith, and it's Burke in for Richardson. Into the third we go. 2 minutes in now.
I'm shocked he missed that wide open look. He has to feel embarrassed he blew that one.
And it's Leonard. That time on the assist by George. Leonard's got 21 in the game.
Yeah, you could be as physical as you want with Kawhi Leonard. He just stays with it and is unshaken.
Here's Hardaway. Doesn't go that time. Empty that time from Leonard. Williams against Doncic. Here's Batum. Good work defensively by Johnson. Mavericks trail by 15. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Marjanovic checked in for Dallas. Jalen Brunson comes in for Hardaway. Here's Johnson. He's still scoreless so far in this one. Doncic kicks to Brunson. Pass to Burke. From the line. Another shot. And the rejection by Leonard. And he's able to get it back. Clippers leading by 13. Here's Williams. Pass to George. From deep. The rebound by Marjanovic. Marjanovic has got 4 rebounds now tonight. Runs in with a clean look. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Pass to Batum. Over Johnson. A shot by Batum. No good. And it's Burke with the ball for the Dallas Mavericks. Following this one, they get to host the Hornets. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. No one near Doncic as he lets it fly. It's good. The assist that time from Burke. Doncic has got it back down to a single-digit deficit for Dallas. Here's Leonard. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Here's Brunson. Another 3 for Dallas.
Well, they're getting stops, and they're attacking on the offensive end.
Yeah, coaching staff probably loves this, just grinding out defensive possessions, which is helping them get back into their offensive flow.
Mavericks trail by 5. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Brunson's got 7 now in this quarter.
And you gotta love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of a grinded out game.
Los Angeles calls timeout. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Willie Cauley-Stein, he's checked in for Marjanovic. Maxi Kleber comes in for Johnson. And Josh Richardson subbed in for Trey Burke.
Batum brings length and a versatile game to his spot on the wing. And his defense, always a big asset for this team. He's the kind of player that everybody needs to have out there. Kind of a glue guy. Impeccable from the line since halftime.
Richardson the pass to Cauley-Stein. Back to Richardson. 2:10 left in the third. And pushing it up, here's the Clippers. A shot by Batum, no good. And the Mavericks with possession. They've got a 12-2 run in progress. Brunson, no good. Los Angeles leading by 5. And the pass to Ibaka. Batum trying to break loose. Shots good by Ibaka.
Yeah, high percentage look there for Ibaka. He can be automatic in there when given room.
Williams against Richardson. The layup missed. Los Angeles has gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. And Batum with the basket on the assist by George. George has got his 7th assist in the game.
Changing ends quickly. He's rewarded with the high percentage look.
The defense trying to do their best to slow him down, but when he gets room like that, you got to look out.
And you want more of this from Doncic. He's good at reading shot trajectories. Love his aggressiveness. Look at the big fella working on that possession. He knows how to fend guys off and get those rebounds.
Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. Both teams putting up points. Clippers lead by 5. We'll be back shortly live from Staples Center in down. And a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
Well, there's a way to break down the defense with the handle, but you can do it with the pass. Prime example of that right there.
Well, what a terrific game it's been so far, with this fourth quarter sure to bring more pressure-packed basketball. Kawhi Leonard is out there with Batum. Then it's Paul George. Then it's Ibaka. And it's Williams at the 1 spot. That's who's out there for the Clippers. Pass to Cauley Stein. And here is Powell. Richardson outside. Pass to Doncic. 4 on the shot clock.
He was sitting back a little bit there in the first half, but feels like showtime now, and he's ready to put some major points up on the board.
Williams with the ball. Batum inside the three-point line. It's rebounded by Doncic.
I wonder what the score would be if they weren't controlling the backboard.
Here's Ibaka, and Ibaka slams it in.
And the fantastic end-to-end speed of Ibaka. So hard for opposing bigs to keep up with him.
Doncic against Leonard. And the rejection by Ibaka. Passes it to George. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. And now it's a 9-point Clipper lead.
And I like that they're not settling. Getting the ball on the interior. 8 of their last 10 coming that way.
Doncic banked in off the glass.
Could come down to selection. Bad shots in the first half. Here in the second, using his head, finding some more efficient opportunities to score.
Here's Ibaka, and it's the Clippers scoring again.
Yeah, these defenders just look a bit overmatched, especially inside.
Dallas calls timeout. Paul George really making a difference here.
Well, I hope this one is not to draw up a play, but to think about how they're going to defend that man. He's putting up some major numbers.
A different look for Dallas. Tim Hardaway Jr. comes in for Cauley Stein. And it's Burke in for Doncic. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, during the break, I listened in on Rick Carlisle's huddle. He was begging them to step it up. He said, we've got to make the move now, or we're going to be out of time and out of luck. Give it everything you've got out there. Kevin?
Thanks so much, David. And the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him. Greg, as a young player, one of your mentors was Patrick Ewing. How valuable was that to have that kind of guy tutoring you, mentoring you as you were just getting in the NBA?
I tell you, he was the consummate professional and really an incredible leader by example. This guy spent infinite amount of hours in the gym, in the offseason, honing his craft. First on the floor, last to leave it throughout his professional career. And that's something he had in common with all the truly greats who ever played the game.
Now their plan working to perfection there, if that was their plan. And if it wasn't, maybe that should be their plan.
Williams, that's good.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Burke kicks to Finney Smith. Now Powell. The pass to Burke. Now here's Hardaway. This one for three. And it's the Clippers with the rebound. Leonard's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. A nice shot by George.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
And so it's Burke who brings up the ball for the Dallas Mavericks. Richardson, no luck.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
Williams passes to Ibaka. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's going to go on Trey Burke.
And this is where Ibaka is becoming a little more savvy. Just catches the defense off guard. All they can do at that point is foul.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Doncic is checked in. Ibaka hits both of them.
And what's interesting about Ibaka, he's played basketball internationally ever since joining the NBA back in 08. In fact, he won a silver medal with Spain in 2012.
Here's Doncic. Yep, that one goes in there. Doncic has got 6 in the quarter.
And boy, he's really in a groove. Dominant performance last game. Same thing this time out.
Seems to be nobody standing in his way. No roadblocks for him to get to his spot, capitalize, and continue to be aggressive.
And there's the call on Lou Williams. That's foul number 2 for him. 1:51 left in the game. Doncic with it. And Batum picks him up defensively. Pass to Finney Smith. Doncic looking it over. Lets it go from deep. It's hauled in by Los Angeles.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for the Clippers.
They never settled for mediocre shots.
And Kevin, they had great penetration this time out.
And every win important. And this one will go down as win number 3. And we watched one guy all night long, guys. And look at the stats, just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for George.
Now, this was a showcase night of his skills offensively.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Yeah, the other team a bit concerned here. They're trailing, and the lead seems to be growing.
On the wing, Hardaway. Defended by George. Dallas again missing.
I saw a green light there, but he's not going to get away with that kind of lapse all that often here tonight.
Here's Ibaka. Good. The nice assist for Williams.
Finishing strong. This is how you want to close things out.
Yeah, definitely putting a stamp on this one. A very, very decisive victory for the club tonight.
Finney Smith passes to Hardaway, and he can't stop the run as he misses. One item that stood out, their ball movement.
Things are definitely clicking, and more importantly, it makes it really hard to defend. This arena was rocking throughout the night. You could really feel the energy.
Yeah, huge motivation, always great for a young team, but veteran players also appreciate when fans come with that kind of energy and get into the spirit of the game.
Here's Williams. Ibaka right side. Outside Leonard. So the Clippers winning this one easily. It was a tale of 2 teams tonight. One that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go. And once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by.